Hey!
To a part 2, which we don't usually ever do.
Or dose for those our friends south of the border.
Yes.
Or deuce for listeners of the channel.
We should have learned what 2 was in Korean. This is another missed opportunity. Well, anyways, guys, we're back for just, the biggest bong hits.
Hit.
Bong Joon-ho!
Oh, that's amazing.
It's nice.
I love that.
Wow. Hits from the bong?
Yeah, we're with the top 3 Bong Joon-ho movies. Last episode, we started our ranking. We got 4 in, but because of just, we won't even get into it. But now we're here to talk about the top 3 Bong Joon-ho's. And previously on Uninformed Movie Reviews.
Yeah, we left you guys on a cliffhanger. I feel like this is something we should take note of production-wise.
Yeah. Number 7, we had Barking Dogs Never Bite. Number 6, The Host. Number 5, Okja. Number 4, Mother is where we had just left off. And now we got 3 left, and it's time to rank them. So why don't we kick it on over to Frank? What's your pitch for 3, man?
So my pitch for 3, which originally was my 4, would be 2013's Snowpiercer.
Oh, interesting. I have to say that Snowpiercer was my natural 3. What about you, Danny?
Snowpiercer was my natural 2.
Interesting.
All right. So
Snowpiercer. Here we go.
Well, okay, now...
Is there anything you want to say before we force this?
In reference to last time on Uninformed Movie Reviews.
Yes.
I remember you saying there were 3 films that he got damn near perfect.
Yes.
And that you said Mother
was one of them for
was
me.
your top 3.
Yeah.
Yes. Snowpiercer is not one of those films for me.
Interesting.
Well, okay, I'll agree. This movie is not perfect. In fact, it's like 95% perfect for me. But the 5% is why it's here for me.
Well, I was agreeing with Frank that I think there's 3 perfect ones, and this is one of them for me. This is number 3. It's just great.
This movie's
Snowpiercer.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
It's dope.
I had to talk myself out of not picking it as number 1. I was like, wait a second. Okay, it's not as thoughtful as some of these other ones, I guess.
Yeah, it was never really in the running for 1 for me.
Are we going to bring it to 3 then?
I think it's time. It's time. It's Snowpiercer. So let's just get right into it. Snowpiercer is so basically because of global warming, they decide in what seems like a Futurama episode plot, they decide to release a chemical in the air to cool the planet, but then it cools the planet too much and it freezes everything. Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
So what they have to do in order to save humanity and save any life left on the planet really is they create this train that is the most literal version of a caste system ever.
Oh, yeah.
And the movie is just about being at the very back of the train with the lowest tier of social status.
The
Street rats.
The free riders, they refer to them.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The people who were let on with mercy.
And we kind of see an uprising, a revolt as they try to take over the train. And the movie is just literally just going car by car, pushing their way to the front in an attempt to overthrow the man. And that's Snowpiercer. It's got Captain America in it.
Sure does. Early Chris Evans before he was... No, he had just been in the...
He just finished...
First Avenger.
No, the second one.
Oh, wow.
This is post-Winter Soldiers. This is a very kind of...
Crazy.
Strange movie. I had to look it up because they also try to hide how unbelievably jacked he is.
Yeah, he looks pretty skinny in there.
It's because he's just wearing that coat.
Yeah.
He's wearing a bunch of layers to hide the fact that he is just
The U.S. government had already jacked him full of chemicals and stuff.
Yeah.
To get rid of his weird tiny CGI body.
Do you remember his name in this one? Is it Conroy?
Oh, you know what?
Something like that.
I'll be honest. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to character names, but let me pull this up just so while we're discussing it, we'll have it. But
if I remember correctly, the Snowpiercer, the train itself, was actually started by some railroad magnate who was convinced that it's the way of the future, and people during the present time before the Ice Age happened again.
The Ice Age.
were they were pretty much laughing at Wilford, for putting so much resources into a train, and then they pulled which disaster movie is it? Is it Deep Impact where people are paying to get on?
Yeah, I guess so. There's
2012.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't bother like going over the setup. It's just like we're here, and then you get a
Which
little
is
bit of
good.
the background. So it's a lot of mystery left to it. Kind of has some BioShock vibes in a weird
Yeah.
way. You know what I mean? Like Andrew Ryan creating a utopian society. It's Curtis is Chris Evans' name.
Curtis. That's a dumb name.
What a heroic name.
What a terrible name.
Kurt.
Well,
Except for 50 Cent.
before-
He can rock Curtis.
before we start, well, apparently he didn't. You know what I mean? That's why he goes by 50 Cent. He's not 50 Kurt, but
Well, you can't be Curtis after you've taken a certain amount of bullets. You have to choose a different name.
that's true.
It's in the Constitution. It's one of the
But
amendments.
to be fair, he gave it a shot.
Yeah.
We have fun here.
How did Frank not hit the bullet sound? You know what I mean? I'm so,
I was too busy.
I'm so disappointed, man.
I was too busy enjoying that morsel, man.
Wow. Well, Frank, do you want to hit us with the numbers before we get into this?
Yeah, you can have some numbers. With its 126-minute runtime, Snowpiercer currently has a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb and a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, just 1% lower than Danny would have given it there. Had a budget of $39.2 million. Opening weekend scored $4,563,650. I added an extra zero, so I had to figure it out there for a second. And worldwide gross $86,758,912.
Did you guys see this in theaters?
Man, I never even heard of this
I
movie.
never heard of it until it was on streaming.
I was working at Entertain Mart at the time this came out, which is like a movie store for those of you who aren't from El Paso. But I remember seeing it just like on the shelf and being like, well, what is this about? It doesn't really tell you anything. It's just like a bunch of people on the cover and it looks snowy. And I was like, well, it didn't grab me. You know what I mean?
It looks like it's about cloning or something. Like if I had to guess just by looking at the cover.
I definitely wouldn't guess what it's actually about.
David has been recommending this movie to me for years, ever since we watched Train to Busan together.
Is this your first time watching it?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Lord. Yeah.
So I don't know. Why don't we start with you? Were the one who kicked off this count, Frank. What are your opinions on Snowpiercer?
It's not as good as Mother. I just want to start off with that right away.
That's an interesting
just
take.
Personally,
That's not what the channel agreed on. But anyways, continue.
That's your individual opinion.
So, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It definitely like awoke the eat the rich in me. You know what I mean? Which is already like pretty
high
right
up there.
below like red most of
You're
the time.
hot-
You know
you're
what I
on
mean?
there.
I'm always like fully revved on that mode. Really liked all the performances. I don't think anybody was like a weak link performance wise. All the characters seem deep enough, especially like side characters where you kind of want to know a little bit more about their story, but it's probably best that you don't. I did really like the feeling of going car to car. I like that once the action starts, we're just kind of along for the ride until we kind of have to like yada yada through like 6 or 7 cars just to like, oh, okay, yeah, these cars are a little bit less interesting than others. Let's keep going.
The sex car.
The weird train day egg thing, I really like that. Like
that was
the
fun.
Kinder car was probably one of my favorites. Like the way that the kids are like indoctrinated into this like cult like the mighty yeah dude, and just seeing Tilda Swinton like sing along to like the children's songs and the stuff. I thought it was great. The ending didn't land 100% for me, and where are they getting all those bugs from, man? You're telling me they get millions and millions of bugs every day on this train?
If you start thinking about the logistics of Snowpiercer, you can poke holes in every part of it, and that's one of them for me.
Yeah.
It's like you're telling me there's finite resources to where people in the back have to eat bugs. Obviously, they didn't care. They were just giving them bugs so that they could have actual resources. But like things like chicken and sushi, like they have a small aquarium and they're just like
the little Mandalay Bay car.
Yeah.
But that is, and there's some dialogue that tries to explain it too. So like the sushi car, for instance, they say like, this is the only day that we serve sushi once a year.
And it's to keep balance to the ecosystem.
It's all about the ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's about how like everyone serves some kind of part. This is an interesting one because kind of like what Danny was saying with Mother, I kind of, this is a little hard to talk about
without spoiling
it all away.
it.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like the spoiler is also very important here.
Oh, it's super
The,
important.
the twist at the end is like, oof, I don't know if you can
Yeah, the big twist to the
There's several twists
So-
in this.
I can see how, the if you're really trying to tear it apart, yeah, there's some holes. I mean, I think it's really serving more as like a metaphor. You know what I mean? Like it's a little on the nose, the metaphor, but it also kind of has this flavor to me that's like an action movie we don't get anymore, where they're trying to give us some sort of lesson in a weird way, and also not be afraid of just experimenting with something a little more out there. It feels very 80s. Like this could have been an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
It could have come out like with Total Recall or something like that.
It's a very original idea.
yeah.
But where the parts where it feels the most 80s are the parts that drag the movie down. And in that, I mean, like, it's particularly right around like the beginning of the third act, and I would say like where they have like the two assassins, the nameless assassin guys, coming in, and we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so all right, just set this up. Basically, and this isn't a spoiler, really. I mean, this is just what happens in the movie. Is that
It's probably in the trailer.
from the beginning? Chris Evans, Curtis, is sort of leading this revolt with the other able-bodied people, and they're so used to this routine that they're put through every day that they find a way to bust out of this back car. And once they start going, it literally just becomes a fight, as we're going through the cars, like Frank was saying. But we get to this point where, it's getting a little out of hand. So they're sending out literally like the guys with guns and everything. And there's this moment in the movie.
Hatchets.
Yeah. There's this moment in the movie where the train is kind of on a U shape.
Yes.
So we see the front part of the train through a window, and then they're still towards like the middle backish area of the train. And they start shooting each other through the window of this train.
Major like John Wick 3 vibes.
Yeah, but I feel like
dumber than John Wick.
I feel like
It's
John Wick,
way dumber than John Wick.
John Wick respects the laws of bullets a little bit more. Physics,
no,
a little bit
like,
more.
not the suppressor part. Yeah, but the physics of it.
The physics of it.
Yeah.
Because that's not how trajectory works.
Bullet shoot straight. Almost.
Yeah, bullet shoot straight.
Yeah.
So first it's like going through glass, which is going to mess up the trajectory.
Big time.
Then it's traveling as the train's moving outside where it's windy, presumably.
180-mile winds in like a blizzard.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And then hits another piece of glass, which is also, again, going to change the trajectory. And I'm sure you know what gun it is, Frank. It looked like
it was like a just
is
basic.
it a Scorpion or something?
It was like a 223. It looked like it shot a 223.
You're talking about the one that the
Captain America's using.
Oh no, he's shooting like an MP5.
yeah, no, it's a Scorpion.
It's a Scorpion.
Yeah.
Okay, see, this is Call of Duty knowledge.
Not the new SIG or CZ Scorpion Evo. Don't be confused with the
Yeah.
9mm PCC carbine. The old school Scorpion that you would see, like the bad guy has in True Lies.
Oh, yeah. Again, a perfect example of this.
Is it
Schwarzenegger.
9mm?
Yeah,
Okay, well that's definitely not going to make.
but
it.
it's not 9mm Luger. It's 9mm Tokarov normally.
See, I'm glad Frank's here to answer these questions that everyone's.
Would that make it through at least inch thick glass?
It would make it through, but yeah, when
It'll just
shooting
tumble.
through
That's
glass
it.
is an extremely hard
No.
thing to do. Like the most seasoned cops, like you're still guessing a little bit if you got
Yeah.
to shoot through some glass.
But they hit like multiple accurate shots, and
Yeah.
it feels like an anime for a second.
It's very 80s movies. What I'm
It
saying.
is,
It's
it
And
like,
you might be there in the comments right now, like, well, you can see like Curtis, he uses a couple shots to blow a hole so he doesn't have to shoot through the glass. But
Yeah,
then you're
okay.
still overcoming those crazy winds.
Yeah.
The moving, who knows how fast they're moving on this train, fast enough to blow through glaciers.
at least 200 miles an hour.
And another part of it is this guy doesn't shoot a gun.
No,
You know what I mean?
He's
He has
never shot a gun.
experience to it.
he was a little boy when he got on the train.
yes, yeah,
And then he's just been back there.
as far as he's known, bullets don't exist on the train anymore.
yeah,
Yeah,
So-
they thought bullets were extinct.
and I guess they weren't.
And they find out in a rough way.
I like how unrelenting this movie feels.
Yeah.
They introduce you to a cast of characters that are like likable people, and then they just start murdering them,
Mm-hmm.
just like straight up murdering them over and over and over.
Oh, his
Yeah.
one annoying friend, the young baby, the baby that William Hurt says he saved,
Yeah.
who turns into the young dude. What's Curtis's friend?
Jamie Bell is
That
the
guy.
actor. Yeah.
Yeah, the one from Turn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The super loyal one.
Yes. Yeah. He's quite annoying for the entire thing. But okay, who was primarily talking? I don't want to take over someone's time right now.
Yeah, I mean,
This is your time,
I
dog.
feel like this is our time down here.
It's our time.
Like Frank was saying, during about the last 80% of the movie, they do yada
The
yada
last
yada.
80%?
I'm sorry, the last 20% of the movie, when they get to about 80% through the story, they start yada yadaing. You're going just, there's like almost like a trance like state as Curtis like makes it through this the cars, which is probably like showing his exhaustion and his how tiresome everything is with just wanting to reach his end goal.
Yeah,
but it's just like, okay, wait, you're telling me there's this like constant party rave train, and then in between the rave train is the thing between like the engineer and Wilford's cart.
Okay, I can see what you're saying.
But even
sometimes Wilford wants to he's got to make sure the engine's running, but what if he wants to get his freak on real quick? He can't be too far away from that engine, man. That's just good planning.
I feel like just from right there where they get into Wilford's area is where it kind of slumps for a second.
Huh.
Just for a second.
Well, this is the twist is when they get into Wilford's.
Well, right before.
Oh, right before.
I'm talking right before when we got Kang Ho-san and
which we haven't even talked about. Kang Ho-san is playing like a drug addict in this one.
And I wouldn't even really
Yeah.
call it a lull. You just have to change the pace a little bit. It's like Neo talking to like the architect, you know what I mean? It's got to slow down for a second, or the Oracle,
first one, yeah.
And it's at this point that they're actually like progressing what could be like a subplot, which is Kang Ho-san and his daughter are wanting to escape the train. They want to get off the train.
Yes, which were shown very early in the movie that, I mean, they stick this guy's arm out the train and it shatters.
Yeah, it's
but
awesome.
Kang Ho-san has made some observations and he thinks at a certain elevation, we could leave the train. And he's tried to escape before.
Yeah.
Which is how he got himself imprisoned in what looks like
a
mortuary.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It looks like just the place you store the dead bodies.
Which I guess they just sleep in? Well, I don't understand.
So the rave cart, again, I just think he's going a little more figurative than literal.
Yeah.
Like the rave cart's kind of embodying just in stark contrast to how they're living. It's like these people up here are just debaucherous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Final Days of Rome up here.
It's like the back car, they're striving every second to like try to stay alive and get like some semblance of a life.
Yeah.
Versus like the rich all the way up front, they're like so comfortable that they can afford to just throw their lives away.
Which also confuses me because we see where they live, where the lower class people live, but we never see the cart where the rich people live, do we?
We see it
Where do they sleep?
bit.
Do they just pass out in the club?
We see like the rich people's regular looking train sleeper cars.
Do we? Okay, maybe I missed that part.
I don't remember.
It's like right before the 80s shooting scene starts. It's right after the kids. The kinder scene, I'm pretty sure.
I might have missed it. I might have been Googling like how fast do cockroaches reproduce?
Well, assumedly they have
pretty
like
fast.
some kind of like bug car. You know what I mean? There has to be a whole.
I didn't see no bug car
where all the waste goes. Yeah,
I figured that would be the end.
I would assume the waste you just eject it like an airplane. You know what I mean?
Now I guess this is also the time to bring up. Well, I don't think so. I don't think they waste. I don't think anything leaves the train. You know what I mean?
Like everyone's
Not
pee
even
is turned back into
dukes.
water and all that.
I don't think
Probably
so.
not.
That's how they feed the
fertilize
bugs.
it.
Could be how they feed their plants. And
Yeah, that's
stuff.
the idea. The whole
Where
thing is
does
closed.
the poo go?
Yeah, where does the poo
Is
go?
what I want to know.
Show me the poo.
Where's the poo, Meryl?
This should be thrown out there that they did adapt this into a TV series, which I'm kind of interested in watching just to see how they explore it. And I mean, presumably it can't be the same story because
I think Channel sweetheart Randy / Jefferson Davis was saying it's totally different, right?
Yeah, he's saying it was very different.
I was thinking it was a prequel.
I asked him that too, and he said no.
See,
But
I thought they would logically do it on what they refer to in this movie as the first revolt.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Right?
But I mean, it would also make sense for Sons of Anarchy to do a prequel instead of doing a Mayan spinoff.
That no one cared about.
Man, that would have been nice.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about that today.
About things that should be done.
Can you guys help me out here? In my notes for Snowpiercer, towards the beginning, I wrote something that says fish intimidation.
Fish?
Oh, you're talking about the it's the hatchet car. And when lights are about to go out and someone brings out a fish.
Oh, they bring out a fish. Yeah.
Just to beat someone with.
Yeah, that's right. They just beat some guy with a
I
dead
don't-
What
fish.
reason? I don't know. in slow-mo.
I mean, like, I guess it's kind of important because the main character like slips on the fish, but like,
Oh, yeah.
did the fish need to be there?
Is it a Godfather reference? Are they saying he's sleeping with the fishes?
Is this like one of those moments like in The Host where like there's just like a dog biting his owner?
Yeah,
It's
just a dog
it's
attacking his owner for no
thing
reason.
that-
There's a no bugling sign on the fish.
And Bong Joon-ho just finds this hilarious and wants to put it
I've
in
been thinking about that no bugling sign at least once a day since I saw The Host. I have so many questions.
One thing I really like about Snowpiercer is that this is his only action movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think he does it really well. Like the fight scenes are awesome.
Yeah.
Especially that part in the train car where, you know, it looks like they have the upper hand and then they're going to hit that tunnel and all the lights are going to turn off and you see those guys
Yeah.
put on the night vision goggles. I mean, it's just, it's insane.
And then
man.
she shouts out like precisely 73.9% of you will die.
Yes.
because everything is so calculated.
The intensity of those first moments in the dark where everybody's kind of just like waiting.
Yeah.
Oh man, just the silence and the tension.
Oh, but then you get that moment. It's almost like it's from The Patriot, where
Yeah.
like the guy from the back comes in with the torch.
it's you know what it is? It's Helm's Deep.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
orc though, right?
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's killer. So we were talking about what's his name again? Wilfred?
Wilford.
Yeah.
We're talking not James Cromwell, but Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
I mixed the two up quite a bit.
Who we just talked about on Stepmom. He was with Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Been bald since I was born.
Since he was dating Julia Roberts, apparently. But Ed Harris, so they're getting into Ed Harris, who's like the leader, and you know they're going to take the train over. And when they get there, there's this line. Without getting into the spoiler, Ed Harris tells Captain America, "You're the first man to have ever traveled from the back of the train to the front of the train." But in the train, they're with this like subordinate girl who's in yellow.
Yeah.
It's not Tilda Swinton, but it's like Tilda Swinton's side character.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but yeah,
It's
like Heidi or something.
It's that girl from Goon.
Yeah, it is. Oh no, Allison Pill? No, it's not Allison Pill. She's
It's
the
a
teacher.
different one. Yeah, she's the teacher. That's what I'm
There's
thinking
another
of.
girl from Goon?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you meant the other girls also in it.
Oh, you mean the kindergarten teacher?
Yeah, I got them confused because they're both like petite,
But
little
kinda
white
thick.
girls. Yeah, but kind of thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going an interesting place. But anyways, this lady in yellow who's the subordinate, she started the movie in the back of the train with
Yeah.
Captain America.
Well,
She's
But
there.
does she go
she's
all
there.
the way to the engine car?
Well, she had to because she's in that scene.
You mean like literally walking
yeah, like
to the back. Well, so does Tilda Swinton.
Wilfred says, yeah. Well, he alludes that he doesn't even talk to her in person.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's like, oh, even Tilda Swinton doesn't get to see Wilfred. But it's like, oh, but she's also here. And she's also gone the whole.
Well, maybe
train.
Wilford doesn't think women are necessarily.
I was just gonna say
full-blown
maybe he
people,
meant
you know what I
you're the
mean?
first man
Yeah.
to make
You're the
it.
first person who I actually think has like the right to an opinion.
Dang.
Wilford doesn't seem to be too PC. I would just say that.
I would imagine not.
No.
So, I mean, I think this is a movie that you can't break it apart too much. You have to kind of go in and just enjoy what's happening.
You can if you're ranking it with like six
Yeah.
other movies.
I mean, yeah, if you're looking at it critically, I'm just saying as a viewer, you
Yeah,
know,
but-
enjoy the ride.
action movie.
And I think it's a solid action movie that has a really nice twist at the end.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that it's this high, obviously, I knew it was going to be in the top 3 in all of our lists. I was honestly for sure this is going to be top 3
It
because.
was 4 for me.
Anyways,
Anyway,
Bong Joon-ho stepped out of his comfort zone and he made an American action movie,
yeah.
and it's just so different and awesome.
Mhm.
That's why it's got to be so high for me.
Yeah,
mean,
I agree, man. I think this is going to be like a cult classic movie. This is going to be like a.
I thoroughly enjoy rewatching this movie every time
I
watch it.
watched it twice.
Yeah,
during this,
yeah, dude.
ranking, and I was like, "This never happens." Even when we watched the Tarantino movies, I didn't watch one of those movies twice. I mean, I watched both
You had
versions
already
of Hateful.
seen them, you know. Yeah.
And it's not a short movie. This is like what, 2 hours too? I think this is also 2 hours.
All of them are pretty much 2 hours, 126 minutes if I remember. Yeah, 126.
And before we started the venture of rewatching Bong Joon-ho, I had actually just watched Snowpiercer, so I was actually stoked. I was like, let's do this again.
Let's watch it one more
It's
time.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Snowpiercer, number 3.
Okay, Danny, let's get into the nitty gritty here. What do you
Yeah.
think
Well,
for number 2?
now
I
it
know
gets
what you're going
real.
to say.
Well, for number 2, my list is all messed up, y'all. Like,
yeah, I know, because you had 7 for Memories of Murder still around.
Yeah, like my list before was Memories of Murder, going from bottom up, Barking Dogs Never Bite, Mother at 5, The Host at 4. I had Okja for very subjective reasons at number 3.
Whoa.
And then Snowpiercer was my 2.
It's so funny. I was talking to David in between like this last recording and now, and David was saying like, the more I chew on it, like I could have put Okja at 7. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I like Barking Dogs a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which seems like a terrible thing to be saying as
Like,
we're ranking them. But
Okja's probably the only movie on this list that I'm pretty confident like I'll probably never view it again.
I do like how wholesome Okja is, though. That's the only thing.
It's also different.
Which is
It's
weird for
different
you.
me. Yeah.
Well, it's because it's also got a level of brutality and hopelessness to it.
That's nice.
See, that's where I live with wholesome.
Does have some futility in there.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. Yeah, it's just, I like it because it is different and stands out. Honestly, if I did switch out Okja with another one, which we ended up doing anyway, I think Mother would have been higher for me.
Yeah.
I should have rethought Mother.
Yeah, we
Well,
did. I feel like we did Mother dirty.
This is interesting.
Where is Mother at?
Mother's 4. I mean, come on, calm
That's
down.
not that bad.
It's not as good as Snowpiercer.
It is not.
I would argue that it's better. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, here's where the argument
For me.
starts, because my number 1 is Memories of Murder.
All right.
I put Parasite as 2.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious. I'm assuming Danny's. Well, I know Danny's has to be number 1's Parasite, just because of math.
Hell yeah.
And it's funny because my 2 was Mother, and for me, Mother and Parasite were like,
interesting.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble there.
So where's your Memories of Murder?
My Memories of Murder I had as my 3.
Oh, okay. This might be a hard argument to make for my case, but what do you guys think? I mean, I love Parasite. I'm not trying to, dog on it at all, but Memories of Murder is just so beautiful.
Memories of a Murder.
Memories
is
of Murder.
Memories of Murder. Damn. Yeah, we're just gonna keep doing it. Memories of a Murder is beautiful. It is
Of Murder.
All right, I'm gonna try this one more time. And Memories of Murder.
There you go. Just call it Mom.
Is fantastic. Mamma Mia.
You're gonna get thrown off with
I'm
Mother.
gonna confuse myself. Is a great film. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just feel like Parasite is almost a masterclass in like shot choice and writing and like character
Pacing.
and pacing. And this is just like perfect.
It's for me too. Parasite is every story that Bong Joon-ho has made perfected into a nice, neat little package that is just, I feel like it's a refinement of every story that he's ever done. But it's also it's very modern. It's like, this is 2020, or 20.
Came out in 2019.
Right. This is now an insight into modern day soul.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Poverty and soul now. Where we do get glimpses into it in Memories of Murder, which was almost 20 years ago now, right?
Well, and the movie's set in the 80s too,
And
so
even
it's
more
even
so.
a glimpse of like past Korea, that,
Right.
we're even more unacquainted with.
And I was gonna say, man, the cast in Parasite is just next level. I'm gonna butcher their names. I don't know, but their American names: Jessica, the daughter, Kevin, the son.
Yeah.
I think his name is Kang Ho-san. Obviously, kills it. Even his wife kills it. But the lady who plays Moon Ga, I think her name is, who is the server, the original server,
Yes.
Housekeeper.
is just crazy. I don't know. You're right though. The pacing is just it's just like a nice jazz standard. It just keeps going. You know?
The only reason I put it lower than Memories of Murder is, in a weird way, kind of similar to Snowpiercer. It's like you kind of get the metaphor. You know what I mean? You kind of get the story. And then it's like kind of like a very literal interpretation of that. Like literally, like they live below us. They are beneath us, quite literally. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get that. Maybe 2 on the nose. I don't know. I think what I like about Memories of Murder is the ambiguity of it. That like you're living in the ambiguity and the mystery with the characters.
You know what?
Nothing is certain. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's a minor spoiler, but the lack of closure, looking back on it, in Memories of Murder does give it a little bit of an edge for me.
Yeah.
It's just that And it's a real story, you know what I mean? So unlike Zodiac, they're not
Wait,
making
it's a
up
real.
an ending.
I didn't know that.
Memories of Murder is a real murder case. Like everything
Yes,
in
and
that movie
Zodiac's
is
not real because they don't have it being Ted Cruz.
But yeah, Memories of Murder is a real case. I mean,
I didn't know that.
it's yeah, which is
Probably why it didn't get solved.
Don't you remember those news stories from when we were growing up in South Korea?
I should have thought about that.
in the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
This is tough.
it is tough.
Memories of Murder is definitely I would think it's definitely something for like cinephiles, like I'm gonna put us to where they can love.
How pretentious.
I know. Well, for pretentious people, because they can love the ambiguity of an ending,
Yeah.
of not having a nice, neat package at the end. There's no questions in Parasite at the end. There's maybe a question of, well, I can't spoil that.
And if anything,
you know what
at
I
the
mean.
end of Parasite, for me, there's just a bit where it's like maybe goes a little too long at the end.
Yeah.
Like they tread a little bit too much, and it's like we could have just closed this out. It
The
would have been
party.
a little bit tighter.
The party should have been the end. Yeah,
you're
that would have been
done.
a nice,
Yeah.
neat stop.
Or just nice little like, but what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then they kind of really spell it out for you. You're like, this
Didn't need
is
to happen.
what happens, and I'm kind of like, okay,
Yeah. Didn't need to
Interesting.
happen. I also agree with
interesting. But
Yeah, I do like the ending, but I also would have been satisfied if they had trimmed it out and I just didn't know and I had to assume.
You make that
I
up,
see
yeah.
that point, yeah.
well, Frank, I feel like you're really the tiebreaker here in a
Uh,
weird way.
you know
Mr.
what?
Park!
Like,
Respect. Sorry, I love that guy, dude.
I really like the arguments being made for Memories of Murder. And like I said, I was washy on putting Parasite at number 1. So to break the tie, I'd say Parasite number 2.
Oh my god, I love it. Sorry, Danny.
That's okay.
This is unprecedented that someone's last choice ends up being first choice.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
We're making history. Well, anyway, not really.
I don't
I feel like
it's
in
not
part
history.
1 we alluded to like Danny's list being
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
As it usually is.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, so Parasite is a story of a underprivileged family who is really just
That's
lacking.
understating.
They're lacking opportunity.
Yeah.
They're not lacking, work
Oh
ethic.
boy, they got worth ethic
yeah.
like a disease, man.
They're
were
willing
resourceful.
to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. I'm doing air quotes if you're not watching the video. But sort of they're victims of a plague that is just capitalism.
Yeah.
And they get the opportunity to take advantage of a very wealthy family where they're making a ton of money, and they do it. And things seem to go well until there's a big reveal, and things go bad from there. That's the story.
Is statutory rape a crime in South Korea? Can we start there?
It's very murky water.
What are the
It's very-
Oh,
what
are you
the
guys talking
statutory rape
about? Are you
laws
guys
in
talking
South
about
Korea?
I'm gonna ask her out when she goes to college? Is that what we're talking about?
I mean, they were already like making out.
Well, I don't know what the age of consent is in South Korea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's
Well,
probably something like
it's time for
13.
Google.
In all the Asian countries, it is way below anything in Western.
I'd imagine it's a little disappointing. Well, South Korea is like a little bit more Western. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest. It didn't throw me off that much. I mean, at first I was like, "Well, this is gross," but also it's just like when you watch anime, it just seems like something from an anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I'm not the age of consent in South Korea is a 20.
Wait, yeah, I saw that on one place, but
Whoa.
I'm trying to discern because this other thing says from 13 to 16.
Well, remember also that just like in the United States, we don't have a national age of
Right, it's
consent.
by state.
It's by state. And I know in Japan, there's something that Japan, it's like
weird.
the age of consent is like 14 or something.
Yes.
But when you go by province, it's much higher.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
one of those things where
Where the country as a whole is
Yeah.
creepy, but some states might not be.
yeah, some states are like, no, we're not that creepy.
I am seeing
Well,
20 all over the place.
Ageofconsent.net, which I didn't know was a thing,
Ew.
says
lie.
South Korea's statutory rape law is violated when an individual has consensual sexual intercourse with a person under the age of 20 in Korean age. South Korea does not have a close-in age exemption, so it seems like they're pretty.
Oh, they're literally like.
yeah, they're like on it. They're like, no, under 20, no.
Good for you, South
for you,
Korea.
South Korea.
Wow.
Good for you.
Yeah. still culturally, I think it is different. And you're saying even, you know what I mean?
There's a cultural thing where it's like he's invited into the house by the family. He's been interviewed, and to get it in there too, it's pretty clear that like even the mom doesn't care so much about her tutoring. It's almost like they're interviewing a boyfriend, is what it feels like for parts of the movie.
A positive influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he does also tutor her.
Yeah, he does, but
for a while.
The mom doesn't care so much about. Again, all these movies are so complicated. The mom is like, I need to get a tutor because that's what all my friends need to see, that she has a tutor. But also, I want to pick out an intelligent college boy for my daughter to be interested in. There's a little bit of a weird dynamic going on here.
There's also the fact that the mom, also an imperfect woman completely, does not care about her daughter as much as she cares about her son.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
She thinks her son is like prodigy. And the daughter actually thinks that the son is just making everything up, like as being an artistic genius, or, you know what I mean? Apparently the son had like a very traumatic event happen to him where he quote unquote saw a ghost in the house, and
and we find out that that's something else,
which is also a scary scene.
I don't know. Again, I don't know how much of this we should spoil. This is a movie that even the director says it's best to go in blind,
and which I did when I went to go see it.
Yeah,
did you too?
Yeah.
For a lot of it, I was, as it was like unraveling, I was like, why is this movie called Parasite? And then as like family members start coming into the fold, I'm just like, all right, I'm getting it now, you know. But
so to break this down, the movie starts off with the family and they're folding boxes for a pizza place. And while they're folding these boxes for the pizza place, there's like a city exterminators, and they open the windows of their house to get free extermination because they live in this like gross basement underground. It's nasty. Their toilet is like above. Yeah. It's like 6 feet in the air. That way, I guess the plumbing works correctly.
Yeah.
And his name is what was it again? Kevin in this movie.
Yeah,
it's
Kevin.
Choi Wo-sik, who we talked about being in Okja, and he's the baseball player from Train to Busan. But
he's fantastic.
He's got a friend who is the tutor for this rich family, and he's going off to college. And he says, I want to recommend someone I can trust because I'm going to ask this girl out when she becomes an official college student.
And he's like, I don't want all these frat boys, you know, salivating over her. So I trust you.
He's creeping on her too. And he wants to give his friend the job, but they have to fake some paperwork in order to make it seem like he's a college student, because you're not going to hire a tutor who's not a college student. And that's kind of their first foot in the door. They get there, and then he realizes, oh, I can get my sister to work here to work with the little brother as an art tutor. And then, oh, if we get this driver fired, we can get our dad to work here.
Yeah.
Oh, and then if we can get the housekeeper fired, we can get our mom to work here. And this family is completely unaware that any of these people are related. But it's all of their sort of, their plan to make a ton of money, and it really works.
Which, they do.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, they do an excellent job of like seizing every opportunity at the like microsecond it presents itself, so, to the point where they start opening opportunities. It's really fun to watch.
And it's arguably the moment they go wrong is where they try to bring the mom into the fold, because getting rid of the old housekeeper, who was the housekeeper for the architect who lived in that house before.
Yeah, the housekeeper survived a moving family, and the family recommended the housekeeper so much that this new family, the one that lives there currently, was like, sure, we'll keep her.
Yeah.
So they had to boot out someone who was very established.
Yeah.
And they managed to do it, but that's when things start to get messy.
That's the catalyst, yeah.
Yeah, they're a little too ambitious, maybe a little too cutthroat.
Oh, I love the little things where it's just like, have you noticed? Oh, like when, this isn't even really a spoiler, but like the little kid comes in and he meets the new driver, and he likes, and the new, the mom, and he like smells her, and then he goes over and smells the driver, and he's just like, they smell the same. It's just like this little rising action. It's just so well done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're waiting for them to get found out.
Yeah.
The whole movie. You're like, when is it going to happen? When are they going to find out?
It almost has like an Ocean's 11 vibe.
Like they're pulling some kind of heist.
Yeah. It feels like a heist.
Just a long heist. They're gonna suck them dry for a long, long, long time.
God, that scene where they like the family's going camping and they have the house to themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just masterful.
Mm-hmm.
Just masterful how things just fall apart and what what parts happen after that.
The thing I really like about that scene too is it just shows how little regard they have for like these people that they're sucking dry. Like the fact that everything's just slewn about, you know what I mean? They are like totally frumped out, like the way a 19-year-old college kid would treat his dorm, like just chips all over the floor, throwing food around with disregard. Yeah, it was really cool.
You get to see how close of a family they are in that scene too, though.
Yeah, there's love there. They really
genuinely love each other, and so much so like they have a weird sense of humor where they just go off and about. Where it's like almost Kang Ho-san's character like just smacks everything off the table and acts like he's gonna hit his wife, and she's like you would, and he's, you know what I mean. But then there's a moment that they talk about that's like pretty much like a big message of the film, where it's just like, you know, I like these people. They're so nice. You know what I mean? They don't have to be this nice. And then the mom is just like, they're nice because they're rich. They can afford to be nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if I had all this money, I would be that nice too. They just don't have discomfort.
Yes. They have no discomfort. and also similar to Snowpiercer, they're kind of just like throwing things around. Like they don't care. It's not valuable to them.
Yeah.
Whereas is just the opportunity to like, I don't know, live in a building that's like not going to flood and your toilet's going to erupt.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're people aren't like taking a piss on your window while you're trying to eat dinner.
Yes.
And they're talking about eventually like moving in there, right? Because they're like saying, well, when you get married to the daughter, then
and we'll have to hire actors to play your parents.
Play your parents and we'll live here. Yeah. I was just like, my God, how far does it go? Apparently,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Another scene I really liked is where they have when they decide to try to get the mom in, and he's rehearsing the dad's lines with him at home about like how he's gonna casually bring it up and stuff like that, and he's coaching him on how to deliver the lines. I thought that was really cool, just how in depth they were really gonna stick it to this family. All the thought and the planning that went into it.
And the real conniving one is the daughter, Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica.
She's the mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
And a great actress.
She
Kills it.
Yeah,
man. She
she's
does
so good.
so well.
She's also like the better teacher too. She like works really well with that boy. And the boy, it's interesting because like, you know, the rich mom is frustrated that her son is just acting up and always wanting to run around and he's not serious about his studies or whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, because he's a little kid.
Yeah, he's 6 years old.
And he also just, no one pays attention to him.
Ooh, and I do really like that we get a hint of one of my favorite cultural exchanges, and that is like Asians being into old American West culture.
Yeah.
And just like rednecks are into samurai swords.
Yes.
What a polarizing kind of thing.
Yeah. It
And
goes
then
both ways.
I just love how they say over on walkie-talkies too.
Over.
Oba.
Although they're not using it correctly because they'll say over and then keep talking.
Yeah, and
they're saying it like you would say stop on a telegram. Like, they don't fully understand how it's used. That really cracked me up.
A trademark Bong Joon-ho-ism that you get in this movie also in terms of writing is we were talking about Kang Ho-san plays an extremely proud father.
Mm-hmm. And also a bit of a loser.
Bit of a loser.
Yeah.
All of them, but particularly him.
Mm-hmm.
Just things haven't worked out for that family at all.
It really hasn't. And it gets down to the point where it's like, it's not because we kind of said this earlier. It's not because they can't work or they're lazy and they're unwilling to work, but they just literally don't have the opportunity to find a decent paying job. Yeah. And the cinematography does such a good job of showing, like when you see them walking from their house up this giant hill and all these staircases up to this beautiful plateau. And then you see like how incredibly beautiful and modern this new house is. Even the backyard is like
gorgeous,
like a garden, just huge and
appointed.
It's very a lot of the character is the location.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah, this house is definitely a character.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another part of the theme. I guess what sparks all of Parasite taking place is that Kevin's college friend actually gifts him this rock that apparently brings prosperity.
Yes, this is one of the things at the beginning of the movie when he first gives him the job or offers to recommend him for the job. Yeah,
Right. And it's like, is it a red herring kind of thing? You know what I mean?
It does seem like it works. You know, as a plot device, is supposed to be a gift of prosperity. It does work, but
at one point it's used as a weapon.
But yeah, what it turns into. But there's also like kind of the way that they treat it. You know, they start to treat this gift the same way that maybe this more fortunate family would treat it as well. So, then we get the ending, which again, like, I don't know, you don't want to spoil it. Without getting too much into spoilers, there's basically a dream sequence at the end. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know the scene that I'm talking about, but there's just this is just an extremely sad scene.
Yeah.
The way that it's presented, and then when you're faced back with like the reality of the situation, it's like, oh well, that's not even a possibility. Like, that's never going to happen. You know what I mean?
I was trying to find the parallel in the way that Parasite ends with another one of the movies, where it's like, you know, see you on the other side is essentially like the ending, and I can't remember which one ends that way.
Well, Snowpiercer kind of does
Snowpiercer
in a way,
but it's one of his like Korean movies. It could be Mother. I'm not sure.
I don't see you on the other side. I don't know.
Kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys get what I'm saying?
I kind of get what you're saying. I don't know what movie that would necessarily be.
I don't know with Mother though.
Maybe it's Memories of Murder that I'm thinking of then.
No, I feel like not even.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I feel like the end of Mother's way more day late, dollar short.
That ending.
And so is kind of Memories of Murder too.
That's
in
what I
a
meant.
weird way. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I picked up what you're putting.
Yeah, Mother's way more up than day late, dollar short. Yeah,
Mother's like, you know what? We're gonna celebrate.
Mother is a fucked up movie, man.
Yeah. The ending of Mother is oh well,
It's
no time to dwell.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about this anymore.
Yeah, gotta keep going.
Yeah.
I love the reveal in that movie. Anyway,
You know what? We
boy.
missed the numbers here, Frank.
Oh yeah, just
about this
the long discussion at the front threw me off, man.
this little Oscar movie.
Yes, man, and a ton of Oscars, right?
So
Did it sweep?
I'll look up the Oscars while Frank gets the numbers.
swept. Parasite, with its 132-minute runtime, currently has an 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb and a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Made on a budget of $11.4 million. Had an opening weekend of $393,216. And has currently worldwide grossed $263,136,741.
Dang.
Good God.
This is like Slumdog Millionaire. Like, people didn't watch it that much, and then it wins the Oscar, and everyone's like, well, I gotta watch
Well,
it.
now I got to see what it's about.
The buzz. What's the buzz? all
Kind of
about?
like Coda this year, right?
I also love how, and if you know, I know it's not that it wasn't that long ago, but man, did some people get really upset about Parasite winning.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they're like, what? I've never heard of this movie.
What is this? Oscars are nonsense.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like a trade show. Like, it's like you wouldn't watch like the dentist awards, you know what I mean?
Well, you wouldn't watch like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and let it dictate what you listen to. You
That's
know
true
what I mean?
too. But it's also like, you know what? Spider-Man No Way Home's not going to win, guys. So it started the evening off winning Best International Feature Film, which, you know, is
Apt.
an achievement.
Yeah.
But it's a huge one. Then it also goes on to win Best Original Screenplay, Best Achievement in Directing, so Best Director, Bong Joon-ho, and being the first foreign language film to ever win Best Picture. It wins the Oscar for Best Picture.
Wow.
Which is the big one.
Yeah.
That's the big one you take home.
Yeah. And it's really cool because in the Oscar acceptance speech, if you
Sound
guys
like you were going to say in the octagon.
in the octagon, Bong Joon-ho's a great MMA fighter, but probably not though. But Bong Joon-ho in the Oscar acceptance speech, he goes on stage and I mean, people are just, it's huge standing ovation. This is a great acceptance speech to watch, but he goes on and says, "When I was a young filmmaker, I chose to live by the words that when you tell something with truth, then it has value. And he's like, and those were Martin Scorsese's words. And he like points to Martin Scorsese in the audience.
That guy.
Yeah. And he's like, whoa.
And he also says, if you choose to look beyond, or if a small letter box at the bottom of the screen is a boundary for you and you can get past it, it opens a world of opportunity for you.
Dang, he's roasting all the
Americans.
Yeah, all the idiot Americans. But he also thanks Quentin Tarantino. He says, you know what, like when people were not watching foreign films or not, open to watching these foreign films, Quentin Tarantino was always talking positively about my movies, which is something that I'll always appreciate. And I think this is the same year that what's it called? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had come out.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, he wins the Oscar in front of Tarantino's Once Upon a Time.
Dang.
And also in front of Scorsese and The Irishman.
Oh, yeah.
and
Which
then,
should not have won it.
then he just goes up there and is just, giving out honors to these guys. And Tarantino has said for a long time, like he's a man who likes to make film lists. And he's like, if I were to make my top 10 favorite movies since the year 1990, I think Host is like number 7 or something. That's a movie that he loves. So just
that seems about right for Tarantino.
It's something that's an incredible moment in history.
Yeah,
this
man.
movie
It really
making
is.
it. Yeah, I just got to say, like, before we get to our number one, as far as like another country that's not primarily English speaking, I am a fan of South Korean cinema.
Yeah.
And I have been now, not only through Bong Joon-ho, but things like their horror is amazing. Like the films like The Wailing and
It's on my list. I haven't checked it out yet.
Gosh, dude, that's a great movie. You'll enjoy that movie. Things like Old Boy.
Yeah. Park Chan-wook.
And I need to watch the one you were talking, Thirst. Is it Thirst?
Oh, Thirst is great, man. Also Park Chan-wook.
I mean, dang old Hunger Games.
Dang old Hunger Games, man. Squid
Battle
Game.
Royale.
Squid Game.
Squid Game
Squid
being
Game,
a
Squid Game.
national phenomenon.
Yeah.
Train to Busan.
Battle Royale is Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
You can tell from all these Squirrel Girl outfits.
to think that, with Squid Game coming out, like being the splash that it was, you have to think about all these decades of things that had to come first to make that happen.
Sure, Battle Royale first.
Well,
let's get to number one.
Number one. All right. Well, here we are at number one, and we have Memories of Murder.
Nailed it. Killing it.
Right on the
First
announcement.
try.
So, Memories of Murder is like a 1980s set tale in rural South Korea where a team of detectives are trying to find a brutal and heinous serial killer who's just on the loose. They're trying to stay one step ahead of him the whole movie, and literally they just can never catch up.
Serial killer and rapist too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. Yeah. Violent sexual killer.
Sadist, really. Yeah.
And then, this is a true story. So it's got a certain level of impact, especially if you were, South Korean. This would be like, watching Zodiac in the United States, I guess.
Or like Black Dahlia.
Or Black Dahlia or something like that.
Very akin to Zodiac in the sense that it ends like, and they never figured it out.
Yep.
Wait, which is the one where they make up the ending?
Isn't that?
It's not Zodiac.
Then it must be Black Dahlia.
Probably Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's been a lot of like Black Dahlia theories
Okay.
where they're like, we're pretty sure it's this.
Well, that's what I have to think of, because Michelle's always talking about. To be honest, I've never seen Zodiac or Black Dahlia.
Ooh, Zodiac's a good watch.
Yeah,
but-
bro.
Zodiac's fantastic. I'll go
Michelle-
home and watch Zodiac right now.
Michelle's always talking about how one of them has what's it called?
Like a fudge ending.
Well, they make up an ending
Yeah.
to catch the killer, which
No,
didn't happen in
it's
real life.
Definitely Black Dahlia. I remember the ending to Zodiac.
Are these-
very clearly?
Are these doppelganger movies? Zodiac and Black Dahlia?
Maybe.
They could be.
Have you ever seen Sidecar? Have you seen Mindhunter?
No, I haven't watched Mindhunter.
Bruh.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of the biggest tragedies of our timeline is that we won't get a season 3 of.
We
Mindhunter.
might.
It's
Interesting.
never gonna happen.
It's in talks, isn't it?
No, they've said it multiple times. Like there's not enough interest for them to do it.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch Mindhunter. I don't know.
Okay. First season is awesome. I think the second season kind of lags, but if you liked True Detective, you're gonna love Mindhunter.
Oh, okay.
Dude.
I do like True Detective, which is also another thing that this is
This
like.
reminds me of it. Dude.
Yeah, like the Memories of Murder could have been like a really really awesome season of True Detective.
Oh yeah, versus number 2.
Versus number 2, yeah.
For Black Dahlia and Zodiac, we have 2006 and 2007. I think that's close enough.
Wow,
that's
we got
Irish twins.
We got to
right
see where
there.
the months are. Yeah. Ooh, that should be coming up soon. Then that'll be fun.
That would be good. That's a great movie. I'm excited for you to watch that.
Follow up this murder with some more murder. So Frank, you want to get the numbers now before we?
Yeah, I'm down.
Get chatting here.
Let's see. With its 114-minute runtime, Memories of Murder has an 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Made on a budget of $2.8 million. Had an opening weekend, I'm pretty sure this was US and Canada, of $4,487.
Oh man.
It's currently worldwide grossed $1,177,717. What a travesty.
Wow.
Like I said, I never heard about this movie at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one that in the US we probably haven't been talking about a lot. This was his I'm sorry, is this his third film?
It was his third, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is number 3.
No, this is his second film.
Oh, I think it is 2.
Yeah, it's number 2. Damn,
which
third
is-
was The Host.
Third was Mother,
It's
wasn't
insane.
it? Or is
No, third was The
Oh,
Host.
it's
yeah.
2006.
Which is kind of
yeah.
crazy to consider because it's like, yeah, Barking Dogs Never Bite, really solid. Huge uptick on Memories of Murder. And then you kind of...
Kind of bring it down with
Yeah,
the
you
host.
kinda bring it down
Hey,
with
but
the
in
host.
South Korea, that's like they thought that was his like ultimate magnum opus.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, like I said, it was like the blockbustery summer.
That's
like,
2006 too.
So
Like,
this is his first one with Kang Ho Song too, to
Nice.
point out, which is, one of these guys who's in almost all of them.
Yeah.
He's only missing
at
from a
least
couple.
4.
Well, he's missing from Okja,
He's his Harvey Keitel.
and he's not in Barking Dogs Never Bite. But I think he's in all the other ones.
He's in all the other ones.
Oh,
yeah.
and not Mother. Sorry. So he's missing 3. Yeah, you're right, Danny. 4 of 7.
Nice.
Pretty good numbers.
Pretty good numbers. Okay, so I Memories of Murder, man. I don't even know where we start, really. Like, this is a dense movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And I'll be honest, when I watched it the first time, I'll set the scene for you. My niece was coming to hang out over the weekend. We had just started, having to go through these movies, and we had ordered some ramen.
Nice.
And so we had these giant bowls of just super spicy ramen, and we were like, let's watch something foreign. You know what I mean? So we popped in this thing, and we watched this movie, and Michelle fell asleep in the last hour. Obviously.
Ooh, bummer.
You're eating a big bowl of ramen.
Yeah.
Big bowl of ramen,
That'll
tired
put you
from making babies.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tiring job. But man, we watched this thing, and I remember at the end, like I couldn't digest it. I couldn't even like
The ramen or the film?
it was a bit of both. It was a combination, you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
just couldn't even I was like, what is happening? There's so much it just really feels like being in a totally different world,
Yeah.
It's one
Yeah.
thing to see like Parasite Korea where you're like, well, I can kind of relate to this.
Sure.
But like 80s South Korea just seems
I don't know.
a
The
world apart.
80s rural South Korea, for some reason, seemed very familiar to me.
Really?
It
Okay.
seemed like a case that would have gone down in the 80s in southern United
Arkansas or
States. Yeah,
something,
like
you
in
know what I
Arkansas
mean?
or something like that.
Wherever True Detective season 1
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
A bunch of like incompetent cops just like being lazy and trying to like put something in a box that they know is beyond the box. You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
if What's Eating Gilbert Grape was a crime drama.
When I watched it the second time, it was just so nice to kind of like focus on the characters a little bit more, really try to understand what everyone's motivation is, because in a similar way to like Mother, a lot of these characters are really awful people.
Yes.
But then they also have a totally different side to
A
them as
lovable
well.
side of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess
I'm sorry.
No, go
Particularly Kang Ho San.
yeah, Kang Ho-san, which is
A lot of drop kicks also.
oh yeah,
How many?
I counted 3 drop kicks.
3
in
out of
this
5
movie.
drop kicks in this one.
Yeah.
Versus Mother's 2.
Yeah, 1.5 really,
1.5,
because of the failed drop kick.
Technically.
Really more of a graceful fall.
More drop, less kick.
So we got Kang Ho-san, who's Detective Park Do-man, and he's alongside Chu Young-koo, the other detective, and these two guys are
He's in another.
Well, we get
He's in
the
Barking Dogs Never Bite.
Yeah, he
we
is.
almost get the buddy cop like dynamic, but without the fun happy times. It's a way darker version of a buddy cop in that like they both start a little bit further on the spectrum from each other, and by the end of the movie they have like met in the middle.
Yes, but I think you're thinking of the other detective.
The
Oh, they-
Soul
because
Detective.
the third detective who
That's
shows
what I'm
up,
thinking
the Soul
of. The guy
detective,
from
yeah.
Soul. Yes.
Because the first two guys are like old time friends, and they're also totally down to do this really dirty Korean cop stuff. where they're
Almost waterboarding.
they're like torturing this guy. They're like forcing a confession.
They probably just hadn't learned about waterboarding yet. That's probably the only reason nobody got waterboarded.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, I mean, this is of the time. This is at the dawn of DNA in crime in America, not even near South Korea.
Yeah.
Which is part of the story.
In
right?
in the movie, they're having a hard time even just getting a crime scene closed off. You know,
oh my God.
it feels so foreign to like what you would see in an American police drama.
They're having tractors like drive through the
Little kids running around picking stuff up.
Evidence is being destroyed like right at the beginning before anyone can even see what's going on in the investigation, and they're just kind of grasping at straws, trying to pin this on somebody just so it can stop, I guess, even though it wouldn't stop.
Yeah, it's not gonna
I
stop
think it's
nothing.
more to calm the public, really.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
also to be accomplished themselves.
Yeah.
Because when they originally pinned the murder, they're like taking photos and celebrating.
On the stairwell, they're all like, all right, big smile. Come on, we got him.
It's that Olympic meme with the guy biting the metal.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, straight
Shooting off the champagne. They're so excited.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite memes.
Yeah.
When it was going on, I was trying, obviously, to, like you were saying, to unpack while I'm watching the movie. And while it was going on, I was like, wait, they didn't actually catch the guy, right? Like, there's
Yes,
no way that
yeah.
was the guy, right? That's how the thought process was while I was watching it. I was just like, this is dense. Like, I need to sit and think about everything that's going on.
Yeah, that's how I felt the first time too, just eating ramen. And the second cop, the one who's not Kang Ho Song, Roy Hakim, man, this is. How
Is
are we
this
gonna
the
keep track of his
kicking
name?
guy?
Yeah, this is the one who likes to kick and the one who's like a little more
Hitmonlee.
brutal. There's also a quick scene where you see the police like beating up protesters in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
And like in this timeline of Korean history, there was also national there were people speaking out against the military and the cops who were being just like brutalizing civilians.
Yeah, and you know what they did to show them? They sent all the cops from this rural city over to Seoul to beat those protesters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We are violent. Why don't you shut up about it?
Exactly. So this is a famously unpopular time to be a cop. And what are these guys doing? They're doubling down and like taking advantage of another guy who's got developmental issues. Is
Yeah.
the first person that they're trying to pin this murder
The
on.
son of the restaurant owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that he hit it twice really made me think that Bong Joon-ho has somebody like close in his life with like some developmental issues. It
Yeah.
seems like something he's pretty sympathetic to.
That the cops are taking advantage of twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. To do that both times. Also, just a shout out when that character shows up, he's in an arcade and he's playing some Nintendo track and field. That's a Nintendo arcade machine. I just thought that was
That's
pretty
crazy.
sweet.
And that actor who plays the guy with mental disabilities, I remember thinking, does this guy actually have mental disabilities? But he plays a henchman in one of the other movies. He's like a baddie.
you're
And I
right.
can't think of which one. It might be Okja. It might be.
I think it's
Huh.
Okja.
It could be Mother, maybe. No,
Crazy.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Okja.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the movie really kind of starts to explore new territory when the guy that Frank was talking about, Detective So Tae-yoon, shows up, who is the big city detective coming to the small town. He's actually like a detective.
Yeah, he's a real cop.
Yeah. He's looking to solve the crime.
He reminded me a lot of the main character in God, what is that video game where you're like the cop in Tokyo? It's like a third person. It feels very much like GTA, but it's
Sleeping Dogs?
Sleeping Dogs. Yes.
Yeah.
He reminded me of the main character in Sleeping Dogs.
I think that's Korea.
Highly recommend it. Is it Korea?
Is it? I don't know. Could be.
I just always think of the when like because you get the health from like the food carts and you can always tell when they're by because you hear the guy yelling hot pork buns, get your hot pork buns.
I feel like the pork bun might be more of a Japanese thing. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
why I think it might be Japanese.
It could be.
Who knows?
We'll look it up. We probably won't. But yeah, that detective shows up and then they start doing actual detective work.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great scene where they're talking with the detectives in the office and he's like, look over there. There's two men. One of them is a rapist and the other one is the brother who caught the rapist and dragged him in here.
Yeah.
Which one
good
is
scene.
he? And Kang Ho-san is like, well, I can tell who it is by just looking. And we never get what his answer is. And we also never get what the answer is either.
Yeah,
we don't know.
We don't know.
And this is just how this story is told, that we are just as much in the dark as the detectives. And there's moments where in the movie you're trying to make the judgment call, especially as we get towards the end with like with who I think is probably the actual murderer. But I mean, the movie gives you evidence otherwise.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sidecar. Sleeping Dogs takes place in a contemporary Hong Kong of 2012.
China.
Although I think Hong Kong is separate from China now.
What?
Geography, I think.
It might be.
Yeah.
I mean, geography-wise, it is separate, but
Like it's not part of China
politically,
anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
I missed that.
it is not part of China.
Geography lessons.
No, wait.
Or is it? I could be wrong. This could just be me being very
It's
confident.
a city and a special administrative region of China,
Puerto Rico style.
like annexed
Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
All right.
on the eastern Pearl River Delta in South China. Okay. Wow. That's crazy.
Today I learned.
Today I learned. I was today years old. I hate that phrase.
That R slash?
I was today years old when I learned. No, just that phrase. Like, just say today I learned.
Yeah.
Today's years old doesn't make sense.
TIL makes more sense, and it's nice and clean.
Anyway.
Yeah. So there's what, 3 murder suspects in total for the entire movie, I think.
Yeah, so we get the boy that we've already talked about, the young man who's tortured and confesses, but then his dad is like, no, he's not. Like his dad drags him out of the confession scene.
That they were willing to put this guy away with literally nothing more than just a confession.
Yeah,
It's
that
crazy.
they
The confession that they coached him
wrote.
through.
yeah, that
Yeah.
they beat it into him.
Yeah.
Then we get the underwear sniffer. Or not the underwear sniffer. He's wearing the ladies'
He
underwear.
just jacks off on underwear.
Yeah, like there's
his house is too noisy to masturbate in
His
peace.
wife is sick, and
This guy, though, is doing something really twisted. So they're like scoping out where one of the murder scenes happened.
Yeah.
They're at night. All 3 detectives
I
end
love
up
that
being
scene,
there,
man.
even though they're not there together. Like 2 of them are, but the other, the better detective just happens to also be there.
We get the like Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. Huh? And then that guy shows up. This guy shows up and he's,
Up to some hanky panky.
He's
up to some
rubbing it.
hanky, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
Trying to go off in the woods and
exactly. They chase after him, and there's this great chase scene. And we find out that no, it's not that he's a murderer. It's just that he's really getting off on these women being murdered.
well, do you think like that was his meditation place before the murder, or like he went there specifically? You know what
His
I mean?
testimony was that it's a nice, quiet place, and I can't do this at home.
But there's a line of
Right.
dialogue where he says, "What's in the newspaper right now is better than what's in my magazines."
Oh,
Like he's getting off
okay,
on
no, yeah, I missed that.
these women being in peril.
Crazy.
It's really creepy.
But he's also a legitimate suspect because it takes place near the quarry where, in like a triangular like location, the murders are taking place, right?
Yeah,
where they're
because-
speculating the man works at.
Because real detective, when he comes in and he's like, okay, we have 2 bodies. He's like, no, there's a 3rd body. We just haven't found it. And
Yeah.
here's where you're going to find it. And then they do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good
And
stuff.
the murders all take place, for the most part, on a rainy night
Yes.
after a certain song is requested.
I was
on the
waiting for us
radio.
to get here because I really
Yeah.
like this. It made me think of that episode of Seinfeld with that dude with Desperado. You know what I mean? Where they talk about like where they're interrogating him and they're like, and you heard the song, you're feeling overwhelmed. Like it made me think of that guy so hard.
It just stops. Looks off into the distance. Well, this is
Elaine, please.
this is the biggest suspect, I think. And when they find this
Yeah.
guy, they find out that, yeah, he's been writing into the radio station to request the song on rainy evenings.
Which is what people did. They sent postcards to the radio station.
weird Korean things. But then it turns out that like these are when the murders are occurring.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks very suspicious, man.
And all the males just like write off that the female police officer would even come up with this like.
Oh, that's great too, because
They're like, no, that's stupid. No.
yeah, the female police officer who's actually giving him this huge lead, they're too busy asking her to make the coffee.
Yeah.
To listen to the only person who has like any kind of idea here and at the same time, Kang Ho-san is like talking about, well, like, we haven't found any hair at the crime scene, so maybe he shaved down there. You know
Oh
what
my
I mean?
God, I forgot about that.
And then it cuts to a scene of him just looking at men in a bathhouse.
He does the
Staring him
same
down.
thing like there's that scene in Ace Ventura where he's trying to find like the Miami Dolphin with the missing diamond and he's like checking out that dude at the urinal, you know what I mean? That's the same gag.
It is.
He's
it's
just
really
getting
funny.
punched by everyone from that Super Bowl team.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. I really like finding like the sole detective finding the one who got away. Like that's a really cool turn in the story too, where like they find this girl who had been attacked and like did get away with her life. The whole like reliving that scene of her seeing like, I think it was the detective now who like rode by on the bike that night while she was being attacked. That was really cool.
And the futility that they must feel when they like try to stage like the murder and they like try and entrap the guy. They're like, okay, it's a rainy day. We're going to get this lady out here to act like a schoolgirl. Right. Cause then they try and trap him.
Cause it's always the girls wearing red. They take all the details from the crime and try to get someone caught in it.
And they still mess it up.
Yeah. Because they're totally inept.
Yeah.
And the interrogation scene with this guy who's writing into the radio station is really good because you can feel like that it really seems like it's this guy, like
because he seems almost totally devoid of emotion.
This is the guard, right, who recently got out of the military.
Yes,
right.
And well, I mean, we've already kind of said that. Yeah, this is an unsolved murder, but it ends up with this crazy scene where it's like they find some semen on one of the victim's dresses. So then they send it away.
Like a sailor?
Yes. And they send away the sailor to get DNA tested in the United States.
That was probably a good move.
And he's there. Kang Ho-san he's about to shoot this suspect they have. He's gonna kill him.
I got confused again.
We talking about the sailor?
Yeah, he's about to shoot the sailor.
Okay.
And they show up with it's not even Kang Ho-san who's shooting. It's the good detective.
It's the good detective. This is where he has come to the middle.
This is where they cross paths. Yeah.
He's frustrated. He's beyond.
And he's going to do it. And the report comes back and says, no, it's not him. It doesn't match.
And then the report just gets destroyed in the rain too.
Just like all their hopes. It gets run over by the train.
Yeah.
And then you just have this guy running off into the darkness.
I like that he did try to take a shot at him too after the paperwork. Yeah. He's like, well, nobody can prove that it wasn't him.
He's like, you know what? I don't care. Yeah,
I just want to close this case, go back to Seoul and become an alcoholic like a good detective.
I feel like at that point it had already been like 2 years that he's been working on the case or something, like, or a year.
It was a long period of time, man.
The tests themselves took like 2 months to get back or something like that.
We're brushing over a couple other relationships. Like Kang Ho-san has this reoccurring thing with a prostitute. Yeah. Where they have what seems like he's just paying for like affection.
Mm-hmm. / unlicensed nurse.
Yes. Yeah. She's patching him up. Is she the one that he's married to in the end? I couldn't tell. If it was the same person,
I think so.
I hadn't even really considered that actually. Well,
I think so. Well, what, Frank? What are you gonna say? You look like there's something you want to get off your chest.
I don't need to hit a Gremlins Part 2 over here.
I don't need to be clipped. It doesn't need to be a playlist.
Yeah. I give you too much to work with as it is.
So, the last suspected killer gets away.
Yeah.
The evidence, or what they thought they had, is inconclusive.
Useless. Yeah.
Inconclusive and useless and shredded. So the case is just cold.
It's cold. It's a cold case.
And then it's
cold as
what?
hell.
5 years later?
No,
10 years later?
It's like 20 years later.
Is it 20 years later?
Yeah.
It's a long time later. Yeah.
Where Kang Ho-san he's not a detective anymore. He's a salesman.
He is a salesman.
He's a salesman.
And also the scene is like, it's now been urbanized.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is another big thing. We see like, oh, this is when capitalism has boomed. You know what I mean?
And he's just taking a drive down one of the highways near where he used to be a cop at, and where they found the first body in the ditch. And to mirror the first scene of the movie, he like looks into the canal, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he puts his head under there to
see if he'll find one.
The stillness and the silence of that scene, and just the slow pan like further down the tunnel, so good.
And then he comes out, and this little girl's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just like looking." And he's just like, "There was a man who was here just like a week ago doing the same thing." And he's like, "What did he look like?" And she's like,
Just a
normal.
man.
Yeah.
Just
Just
man.
normal.
Yeah.
It's like,
Just look like everybody else.
See, she can say that.
Yeah, she can say that.
Well, I'm sorry. What are you trying to say with that, Frank? I'm confused about the joke here. Can you spell it out for me?
Not all Asians look alike, but they definitely come in sets.
Oh my god. He did it. He did it, everyone.
Yeah, what a great ending.
So here's something exciting. The killer who inspired Bong Joon-ho's memories of murder is surprised he wasn't caught sooner.
They caught that dude?
Lee Chun-jae, the serial killer who inspired Bong Joon-ho's 2003 masterpiece, spoke publicly about his crimes for the first time in court on November 2nd. This is 2020.
Whoa.
Wow.
Lee confessed last year to the murder of 14 women. 10 of them were victims in the Hwaesong murders between 1986 and 1991. 9 of the 10 cases went unsolved until new DNA evidence identified Lee as a suspect in September 2019. 57-year-old Lee has been serving a life prison sentence since 1994 for the rape and murder of his sister-in-law. I didn't think the crimes would be buried forever, he told the court, who was convicted of one of 10 murders and spent 20 years in prison. Yoon, whose full name was not published in South Korea due to privacy laws, was released from prison in 2008 and is now in retrial trying to overturn his conviction. The guy said that he watched the movie too.
Dude.
Which is insane. Can you imagine that?
I wonder if the Zodiac killer's seen the Zodiac.
Oh, we'll have to ask Ted Cruz.
I'll ask him. I've seen him.
Yeah, the next time you run into him on a plane.
Well, that was scary.
Yeah, isn't that insane though, man?
I mean, is it life imitating art? Or is it art imitating life?
knows,
That's a
dude?
crazy moment right there.
That is nuts. Yeah, a lot of parallels. A lot of parallels with the Zodiac film.
So, I mean, just the last couple things I wanted to touch on, which we didn't. We get another kind of jazzy score again, but this time with like some 80s synthesizer. And this score it's got like a little bit of a noir feeling to it. Yeah. It's a killer score, dude. And then the cinematography, which is just like incredible, especially for a second film and such an ambitious film. But man, that last shot of the camera like centering on Kang Ho Song's face, he just looks like dead in the camera. Oof.
As you just see him get kicked in the nuts all over again.
Yeah.
Is the chase through the neighborhood where they're finding?
Oh, that's great.
Is that in this movie or is that in Mother? Am I
No, that's in
confusing the two?
Memories of Murder.
Okay, where they're
It's
finding
the
from
Candyman.
the
'Cause it's like a
dogs,
a 4-man chase.
Yeah, they're like listening to the dogs.
It's right after they catch that dude playing with himself in the
Well,
woods.
this is the Panty Man, isn't it? Because they're
Is it
chasing him.
That's
and-
right. They catch him in the woods.
Yeah.
They chase him through the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
And they end up
Awesome.
getting to that quarry, and that's where they.
Oh, the underwear.
Yeah, the underwear is what gives them away.
The way he got caught with the whale tail.
It was so good,
Yeah,
man.
man.
So good. I love how the cops show up on the scene. They're like, "Everyone stop!" And no one cares. They're just
No one's
all.
like,
They're just working.
What are you gonna do? You can't beat us all. There's only 3 of you.
We'll find out. Whew. Well,
What a fantastic ride! Like we said
Yeah,
in
man.
the first part, all of these are totally worth a watch. They're all good.
One of the most enjoyable rankings I've ever prepped for.
Yeah. When we officially run out of content years from now, or we start ranking our rankings, this will be towards the top.
this will be high up on the ranking of rankings
Yeah.
list.
This and the Quentin Tarantino were both just like,
Yeah.
Oh my.
Although for me, I mean, there's less lulls in this than there is in Tarantino's, which I love Tarantino.
fair
but-
enough.
But there's some movies in Tarantino where I'm like, I'm not crazy about this one. It's like a little slow. I can't get behind this all the way. These are something else. Of course, maybe I'll feel that way about Oakja. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, guys, I guess it's time for. Oh, that's interesting and also very topically related. Bong Joon-ho's sci-fi movie starring Robert Pattinson in pre-production at UK's Warner Bros. Studios Leavesden. Published today, May 24th, 2022.
Yo.
I'm all about this. You had me at Robert Pattinson, Bong Joon-ho, and sci-fi.
Well, let's see if I can get you a little bit closer. We also got Toni Collette
Yo.
Nice.
and Mark Ruffalo.
Yes.
Nice.
Speaking of the Zodiac.
The untitled film is based on the novel Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton.
Not familiar.
Bong is writing, directing, and producing for his production company alongside Kate Street Picture Company's Doohoo Choi and Plan B's Dee Dee Gardner. So this is the same team that collaborated on Okja, the special effects team. They're back to work with him on this one. The novel, which was published in February, follows Mickey 7, an expendable, a disposable employee on a human expedition sent to colonize the ice world of Niflheim. Whenever there's a mission that's too dangerous, even suicidal, the crew turns to Mickey. After one iteration dies, a new body is regenerated with most of his memories intact. After 6 deaths, Mickey 7 understands the terms of his deal and why it was the only colonial position unfilled when he took it.
Hey, let's give the position to Mickey. He'll do anything.
The plot sounds familiar to Sam Rockwell's Moon.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's very similar.
Or, I don't know, there's another Robert Pattinson movie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, called High Life.
Twilight? Are you trying to say Twilight?
I haven't seen that, but you know what? I think he changed his name to Battinson, I'm pretty sure.
Are you talking about The Good Life?
No, it's High Life.
Because there's another one. Oh, I'm thinking,
You're talking about Good Time.
Good Time.
Good Time is Robert Pattinson's best movie.
Yeah, Good
for
Time.
Sure.
I mean, have you guys seen
great.
Breaking Down Part 2, though?
I have.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
That's rough. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yep.
This is gonna be awesome. Because I love Robert Pattinson, but you got Bong Joon-ho on here. But this is weird that it is a new novel that just got published on Friday.
A newer novel.
On February.
Sorry, I choked on some water and almost spit it all over all this gear.
Nice.
We also got Naomi Aki, who I'm not totally familiar with. She was in Rise of Skywalker, Jana, who knows? And she's also in Lady
so many
Macbeth.
people in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, who knows? But unfortunately, there's not much more about the movie.
It doesn't matter. I am intrigued.
Yes.
I'm all about it. I am apostrophe wrecked.
And
Full sci-fi?
Now that he's an Oscar-winning director, he's gonna have some more backing, executive producing. He's gonna get things out there. They're gonna be wide releases. It's gonna be great. You know?
Yeah, we can expect to just be able to watch this.
Yeah.
In the U.S. I just hope Kang Ho Song returns.
Better.
I need to see my boy again.
Better in there.
I'm just so excited to see what else we are gifted to by this amazing director, Bong Joon-ho. I can't wait to watch this one. I can't wait to see what's next after that. I hope it goes forever and ever.
He's also working on an animated project right now.
Really?
So his first animated movie, maybe an Isle of Dogs sequel.
What?
No, I'm just joking. I'm just saying things.
Oh.
That would be really weird, but also really cool. Yeah. Untitled Bong Joon-ho animated project. I mean, it says here, deals with the drama that arises between deep sea creatures and human beings.
Ooh, dope. Sounds like kaiju.
Yeah.
Sounds like kaiju to me.
Man, you're joking about the Isle of Dogs thing. Like, just really made me wish there was a universe where we got a Bong Joon-ho, Wes Anderson collab project.
I mean, it's not too late.
Like, that would be amazing.
Plenty
Can we
of
start
time.
a petition?
Yeah.
How do we go about this? What senator do I write?
Speaking of Toni Collette, have you guys recently seen HBO's version of The Staircase that just premiered?
Not
you
the
seen-
HBO, no.
Have you seen The Staircase?
Yes, I am familiar with that possibly murdering true crime author.
The Michael Peterson.
Yeah.
Have you seen the whole Michael
No.
Peterson?
Actually,
Oh,
I have a new regular at work who looks very much like that guy.
interesting.
You know, I think I heard about this story about Michael Peterson, but I'm unfamiliar with the Staircase.
Oh man. Well, yeah, The Staircase is a 12 episode Netflix documentary,
Limited series.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best true crime things ever made. And then HBO just did like an act out of it with Colin Firth and Toni Collette and
Cool.
a bunch of good actors.
No, I'll
Sophie
have to
Turner.
check that out.
It's really good, man. But at some point after Survivor, you're gonna have to check out The Staircase, man.
Yeah,
I got another 18 seasons of Survivor.
It's great. You're constantly like, oh, this guy did it. And then
Wait a
immediately
minute.
being like, no, wait, there's no way he did it.
How could he have done it?
No, he definitely did it though.
No, wait.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I still don't know where I stand.
I like how this is a new thing. It's like hit a documentary, and then when it gets really popular, hit a live action like adaptation of it.
They did the Tiger King one real fast.
Oh,
did?
I didn't
Like-
watch it. Did you watch it?
No, I'm not going to watch
Nah, I
it.
don't
Why am I
wanna
going to watch it? That
No.
story's still unfolding.
Well,
Yeah.
you know who's the Tiger King?
Isn't it Nick Cage?
No, it's John Cameron Mitchell. It's the guy who plays Hedwig.
Oh, that's
What?
right.
He's Tiger King.
Well, now I have to watch
Who plays
Yeah.
Carol Baskin? I forgot about
I don't
that.
know.
It's someone big.
Nicolas Cage.
it.
No, sure.
Rosie O'Donnell.
And then also Tiger King season 2 came out to like what seems like no fanfare. I just feel like
I watched it.
I watched the second season.
Oh, did you guys really?
Yeah.
How was it?
It's not as good as the first.
It's good though because it focuses more on Doc Antle, who is a terrible person.
Yeah.
Like
Really just like
a cult leader.
most of the people involved with that story are just horrible people.
Yeah.
It's Kate McKinnon. Is it Kate McKinnon? Yeah, it is. It's Kate
Carol
McKinnon.
Baskin. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Is it comedic? I'm confused.
I think it is. I think it's
Weird.
got that tone. I'm not looking too forward to it, but
Yeah.
and that's a sidecar. But hey, you know what?
Yeah.
That was interesting. That was
exciting, right?
That was
I mean,
exciting.
I was
That was
excited.
intriguing.
Yeah, I'm very
I
excited.
can't wait.
Well, let's keep plowing on through here, guys. It's time to shoot it on over to Character Limit Extended.
Ooh, that's gonna be nice.
I hope so. Sam Raimi's back with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It Mom, here it is.
Who had the Hemingway? Was it me?
It
was Danny.
Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is one of the freshest takes on a Marvel movie that I've seen in a minute. First off, it has its problems, but all Sam Raimi movies have their problems.
Whoa.
I mean, some of them even get a little problematic.
Yes. But I'm going to say like the Sam Raimi-isms that pop in this movie are just like next level cool, man.
Yeah.
We're also talking about the man who arguably put superhero movies on the map before the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So seeing like how he can handle superheroisms, but also incorporate it into his particular brand of gory horror. Awesome.
Yeah.
There are some lulls in the story, but I mean, the parts that shine are just shine. I wanted more of the whole like heavy metal climax action, Deadite cape.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange fighting the Red Witch. I mean, that was just too cool. And then like that whole part coming together. But then it was just so brief. I was like, dang it. Like, that's what I want more of, you know?
There's a lot of just kind of like, we got to travel to the next set piece.
Yes.
You know what I mean? A lot of that going on.
Mm-hmm.
But the set pieces are all pretty sweet.
Pretty
It's like
cool.
the what is it? The first part of the Deathly Hollows.
Yeah.
Got that same, like, pacing to it.
That's a slow
This,
movie, man.
this,
Deathly
this.
Hallows.
Yeah. I will say, in comparison to the original Doctor Strange, which I did rewatch before going back to watch this one, which I'm really glad I did.
I should have done that.
Bro, I would have never remembered anyone. But this is way better than the first movie.
Yeah.
Way more interesting, way cooler, way more fun. Plus, it's got all the rich lore of the films that have happened since then, before that. You know what I mean? To enhance.
Enhance. What about you, Frank? You're Trip Man.
No, I had the Basho. Mary had the shirt. No, wait.
Oh.
No, I'm thinking of Studio 60.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was editing today. It's got my brain all messed up. Our timeline's all jumbled. You
Yeah,
know what
it
I mean? Yeah, I thought it was super dope. I watched a 10-minute like video on WandaVision right before I went that morning, and I feel like I got everything I needed to out of it.
Okay, do you think you would have been confused not having seen that video, or was it clear enough?
didn't.
Danny didn't watch a video on it.
I wasn't confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was
Which
like,
is
man,
which is saying something. You're usually pretty confused.
I'm pretty
yeah, that's
confused.
true.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
just-
not even sure you know what we're talking about right now.
all this stuff about
Is
like
this character limit exceeded?
having kids and like who are these kids, and that whole thing is just kind of confusing. I thought.
I think to someone that didn't generally even understand much about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they would have
Yeah.
been like, wait, what is she even talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think if you have no idea, if you're like me and you're not a fan of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but you really like the first Doctor Strange and you're a fan of Sam Raimi, I would suggest just watching a quick like WandaVision wrap up just to get the full effect. That being said, that's all you really need. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Didn't feel lost. Super metal, super brutal.
Yeah.
Felt more like a horror film than a superhero film, which I gotta say I really appreciate. And is Sam Raimi trying to tell us the books are bad?
Yeah, right. That's a running theme for
Yeah.
Sam Raimi. Evil book.
Dang,
Yeah.
Necronomicon shows up in
Yeah.
this one. I was like, I came on screen and I was like, you can't tell me that's not the Necronomicon. That's the Necronomicon,
Yeah.
right?
You're
there.
calling it something else, but we all know what it
We
is.
know what you're trying to say here.
Yeah, I really like the thing, like, well, I guess that bleeds into WandaVision a little bit, but I like that she is this like entity that has existed. She's like been taken over by this other witch, like at this point. That was really cool. Definitely made me want to watch The Vivitch over again.
Oh, yeah.
Different kind of witch.
Different kind of witch. Like I want to go on like a big Sam Raimi run now. It really like got me all excited for his style all over again.
Next movie ranking.
Give me some more of that
only-
drag me to hell.
18 movies or something like that. He's got a lot of movies. I listed them out in the chat. There are a lot. Well, now one more too. I just love the fact that they went full blown, like one of the heroes is now the villain,
Yeah.
which seems like a bold choice to make.
Well, even in the comics, she is kind of rides the line.
She's one of those who flips back and forth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm playing both sides.
Yeah.
See who
So
comes
I
out
come
on top.
Yeah, so I always come out on top. Yeah, I love Elizabeth Olsen as a crazy witch. I think she's really solid. Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumbersnatch, he's good.
Bandersnatch. I'm sorry.
Bandersnatch. America Chavez. America.
Chavez.
You know, she's okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like in these newer Marvel things. Like I know you guys haven't. Well, maybe Dan
I have.
watched it, but Hawkeye, the Hawkeye series.
Oh, no, I did not watch that.
Okay, well, you watch the Hawkeye series.
You watched it?
And you're like, yeah, it's actually really good.
Huh.
But they're like, we're just, this whole thing is to set up that Haley Steinfeld is going to be the new Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
she's such a bland actress.
and she's kind of fun in the show. But it's weird because they're trying to set up this next phase, like new Avengers. You know what I mean?
She's kind of the one that's ruining the Jurassic World franchise, too.
Well, that's not what's ruining the Jurassic World franchise.
Oh, she's part of it.
really?
Yeah, you'll
Well,
see.
she's only in one of them. You know what I mean?
Now it's going to be 2.
Wow.
And the one she's in is the one that's ruining things. Sorry. I have
Gross.
thoughts.
But also you have the same thing with
Also Bumblebee.
the Black Widow movie. Oh, that's right. Yeah, but you're naming franchises that are like burning.
They're way
you know what
different.
I
Oh, yeah.
like by Bumblebee, that wasn't Transformers' problem. Was Haley Steinfeld? It was. Although you know what, Pitch Perfect 3 has Haley Steinfeld. It's the worst one out of that whole
I'm just saying.
trilogy of
I'm
movies.
just
You're
saying.
not wrong.
Huh.
Black Widow is also another movie where it's like, oh, this movie exists so that Pew Pew can be the new Black Widow. What's her name again? Florence Pew Pew.
Oh, so that's
Florence
what's going
Pugh
on?
Pugh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like
They're stepping stones, but they're just trying to make the new Avengers.
yeah, and America Chavez felt like, okay, they're giving me this character now so that when she shows up in some, assumedly some Disney Plus show, that I'll be like, oh, I remember her from
So
Doctor
are we getting
Strange.
an all-female Avengers? Is
Well,
that what's
Girls
going
Get It
on?
Done,
Girls
you know
get
what I
it
mean?
done. Girls get it done.
Which is true though, because we're gonna have Lady Hawkeye.
Well, what I'm saying is
Lady Thor.
is Love and Thunder just a stepping stone to get Natalie Portman as Lady Thor?
I don't know, but Blood and Thunder is a fantastic track.
Interesting. We also have She-Hulk coming out too. So
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
I think you're getting a Girls Get It Done Avengers coming in.
I'm okay with it. I like most of the new characters. I like Florence Pugh as Black Widow more than Scarlett Johansson, who I feel like was just
I was very indifferent.
it's like, who cares about Scarlett Johansson in this movie?
Who
She's
cares much about
secret
Scarlett
agent.
Johansson, really?
What? I like Scarlett Johansson, but I mean, there's some movies that she's better than others.
Yeah.
For sure.
I like the one where it's just her voice. Her?
That's really good.
She's great in that one.
Under the Skin's pretty crazy, although it's like a little too that's an out there movie. Under the Skin. You might like that movie a lot,
I
actually.
like out there movies.
But anyways, back to Doctor Strange. Yeah, man. I mean, and then spoiler alert. I mean, shoot, it's been out for weeks. You've
It's
seen
a
it if you wanted
Marvel
to.
movie. Just go see it.
But they finally brought in Mr. Fantastic,
Oh, it was so dope.
especially after Big Tuna's been rumored to be him for years.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're gonna cast John Krasinski, and then it's gonna be Emily Blunt and everyone's talking about the rumors, and then he shows up, and then he's like dead instantly.
Well, he could come
It's
back.
amazing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
death of that whole like brain trust is probably one of the highlights of the
Dude.
film.
Yeah.
The Illuminati.
God damn,
That was
great.
amazing. And I was surprised they were able to do that it's a PG-13 movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not. Well, a couple of shots are like a little gory.
The
like,
dude's head crushes in on itself.
when the head
Yeah,
explodes.
that's brutal, but it's not graphic. It's not like gratuitous.
What's her name gets cut in half?
Yeah.
Captain Carter, which they could have shown, that would have been full Sam Raimi, but
How does the Captain Marvel copy die?
I don't know.
even
Whenever
remember.
Captain Marvel shows up on screen, my brain kind of
I
blacks
just
out for
tune
a little
out.
bit.
Yeah,
She gets thrown through something?
I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, she lasts a good little while in the fight. They definitely get to like a girls get it
And
done
then-
there at the end.
The Professor
girls
X kill is...
almost-
Oh,
get
it's
it
so
done.
sad.
It's
though.
great, man.
I know, but
Yeah.
I was just like,
How many times are you going to watch Professor X die? You know what I mean?
Over and over again. I'll do it.
How interesting they chose to use that little theme too,
I was
man.
like, they did it.
They went full 90s.
Yeah.
Because that's never been in one of the movies.
No.
And they also used his little wheelchair, the yellow one. That's from the
I
cartoon
guess
also.
the thought process was just like, well, it's never going to be on screen again, so why not?
Yeah, I think that really is the thought
You know,
process.
it's actually really funny. I've had the 90s X-Men theme song playing in my head like at work. I keep doing it in the warehouse and I haven't understood why. It's
Probably that
from
movie.
it's from watching Doctor Strange.
I like that little B part.
Also, just a trailing sidecar. Since she was brought up, I've been trying to think what's my favorite Jennifer Lawrence performance. Easily American Hustle.
Oh yeah, dude.
Jennifer-
Oh, she's the best.
When did we talk
No.
about Jennifer Lawrence?
Well, you're talking about X-Men. I don't know if that like
Yeah, weren't we talking about J-Law right now?
not J.
No, ScarJo.
We were talking
ScarJo.
Yeah.
I got my wires crossed.
But
Yeah.
she is an X-Men.
I don't know what my
not
favorite
too
Scarlett Johansson.
You were just thinking about
performance is.
Jennifer
I'll
Lawrence
get
is
back
all that happened.
there. Yeah.
You're like, man, Jennifer Lawrence.
I was
though.
like, well, I was trying to make an X-Men joke because I had my wires were already crossed.
Oh, that's funny.
And I got like all messed up. Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's
Someone's
Mystique.
definitely
Yeah,
going
yeah,
haywire
yeah.
over here.
Interesting. Yeah,
I was all accusing Danny of being easily
I was
confused.
just gonna say.
that's karma coming right back at you, man.
Yeah,
This is a good one, man.
great movie. I mean, I could rewatch this movie.
I will say just as one last thing, there's a very mixed reaction to this movie online. I think there's a lot of like Marvel people who weren't into it.
Huh.
And I was just kind of reading through like on Reddit. I'm like reading the Marvel page. I'm curious about what people are saying. And a lot of them are like, man, it just didn't live up to my expectations. I thought that, Hugh Jackman was going to be here and then Deadpool was going to show up. And like, they were expecting because the multiverse is cracked open that this was going to be the movie with like, oh, Nicolas Cage is going to be Ghost Rider. Probably not. But like,
These
pretty sweet.
goddamn Marvel nerds have been getting themselves hyped up for what,
Right.
like 15 years at this point?
It's
Yeah.
because they gotta perpetuate the YouTube machine of content creators being like, this could happen and this could happen.
yeah. And then they get
this
wrapped
could
up.
happen.
You know what else has happened to?
Mm.
The last season of Game of Thrones.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
if the last
Oh,
season of
yeah.
Game of Thrones had come out in the 90s, people would not have been upset about it.
No.
But it was because for like 3 years, everyone was like,
hype.
well, Jon Snow is actually this one. And what is it? What was it? R plus L
Equals J.
It's like, all right, guys. You've dissected every possible
Yeah.
outcome. You're like Doctor Strange.
It's
It's like I've looked into all multiple, like millions of outcomes possible.
that's just the problem of the internet and YouTube as a whole. I mean, look at them grifting on QAnon stuff. I mean, QAnon's
Yeah.
just like a lore.
Yeah, for reals. That whole machine of just like reacting to content's been
Like,
pretty.
share, subscribe.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was getting at. Like, share, subscribe for more content.
What a sidecar has now become the main car.
Yeah.
And we're going back.
And then we're going back.
Wow.
Well,
Lovely.
let's keep traveling through this train car by car. And now we're
we've
at the
reached
front. We're ready to attack the man.
You guys got your protein bars?
In this case, it's Peeps and Predicts time.
Woohoo!
What is Peeps and Predicts, David?
Well, it's everyone's very real hypothetical. It's everyone's favorite very real hypothetical debate segment in which we take people or groups of people, the i.e. peeps, and we put them into situations that we argue about, i.e. predicaments. What do we got today, Dan?
Who is our reigning champ?
Green Lantern.
That's weird. But Jon Stewart, right?
Jon Stewart.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oops. You'll have to forgive me. This is very sticky.
How sticky is it? Is it a sticky wicket?
The peeps are Krampus versus Santa Claus.
Oh,
What?
how appropriate for the season.
Can we throw this
Guys,
out?
it's officially half Christmas. Come on.
Do we have to do Christmas?
We're doing it.
Oh, gross. All right, and our first come on, to you go, Frank. Here's the other jar.
Hey, thanks.
Let me get this sounded here.
AMR. ASR.
AMR.
Is it AMR?
American Movie Registration. Who's most likely to have their baby ripped apart by a mob?
Oh my God. That was mine.
This is a mother reference, but mother with an exclamation point, not mother, not mother Bong Joon-ho mother.
So Santa, I'm pulling my Santa Claus lore from the Santa Claus. So
so Charlie.
Yeah.
So Santa is like a human being who is granted magical powers because of his position.
You mean Scott Calvin?
Yes. Santa is a cokehead comedian from the 80s.
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Who will be canceled for conservative what am the word I'm looking for? Alignment, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
So I think he'd be much more likely to have children than Krampus, a mystical being.
A demon.
Also, if anything, Krampus is the one ripping the children apart.
Yeah.
Not,
Krampus would rip Santa's children apart for competing for the Christmas time attention.
That's true.
He's like, you're rewarding these German kids when I want them to live in fear.
Fear and Schlagen.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a super metal word for fear.
I mean, there's no argument with that. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of a chance where Krampus has procreated.
No.
There's a Rule 34 out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. On Reddit, there's definitely a sexy Krampus NSFW.
Old Chris Kringle. He wins the first round, I think, then.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. For our second predicament, who would be better at post-production than the person who did Studio 666?
Jeez.
Shots fired.
It's got to be Santa, man. I mean, Santa runs just like a production is really what he does. Think about his branding, man.
On time.
Think about the amount of elves he has working for him.
Yeah.
If you put those elves on a CGI team, way better than Studio 666.
Santa's got that North Pole run like a sweatshop.
I don't think Krampus...
He meets due dates.
I don't think Krampus builds much.
No.
He's there to destroy.
And I'm also going to say, Santa has more access to just goods as a whole. So he might have better equipment, better servers, better computers.
Plus, Krampus from Krampus has those long fingies, which I'd imagine make it really hard to work a mouse.
Everyone knows that.
I'll bet you that Santa actually knows the coupon codes for like every software out there too.
Wow.
For the holiday coupon codes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and also we're supposed to assume that Santa's like building PS5s and stuff up in his workshop. So he's got some kind of technological.
True. He's got tech know-how.
Yeah.
He's just ran out of transistors lately.
Guys, let's go Santa for the win.
chip shortage is affecting everybody.
Yeah.
Even the
North
North
Pole's
Pole.
not immune to
No.
the chip shortage.
Yeah, Santa's going to have to take this one.
Thanks,
Man,
Biden.
We really needed like somebody with magical powers to go against Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
This might be the chance.
Oh, man.
The Green Lantern versus the North Pole.
Danny, would you like to do us the honors of taking this final predict?
Scott Calvin versus Jon Stewart. Let's see what happens. One's got willpower, the other's got a giant gut and a cocaine habit.
Oh, God.
Who's more likely to belong to the tail section of Snowpiercer? Jon Stewart. Well, okay, hear me out. William Hurt resides in the tail section of the Snowpiercer. He in himself.
He was in Aliens. And Aliens is made by Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott. Right now, I'm just joking. I don't know where I'm going with this.
What I was saying is he's like a charitable guy who's kind of like, giving what he can to uplift others, much like a Santa Claus.
But
Also
if
old and bearded.
If we get into the spoilers that we skipped over earlier about Snowpiercer, I don't know if that logic checks out all the way.
Because it's not, things aren't as they seem.
Let's not spoil it right now. The tail end of the podcast. I don't know, man.
I feel like Santa Claus wouldn't need to get onto the train, being that he already lives in the North Pole.
Oh, he's resistant to
and
cold.
he's got the magical powers to be resistant to those crazy temperatures.
But wouldn't Jon Stewart just leave the planet if it was that bad?
And
He's like,
Jon
you know
Stewart.
what? Not even worth saving.
He could.
out.
Jon Stewart could have made like willpower Gatling gun bullets and just destroyed everyone on there,
Yeah.
and then like made the tail section the front section right away. Could have led a revolt like that.
The problem is like the Justice League really can't exist in a universe where Snowpiercer is happening.
Yeah, they have no Earth to protect.
Yeah, they would have, Superman would have like pushed the Earth further
Yeah.
from the sun, and they would have solved it that way.
Should we scrap this and get another situation?
I think we have to do a mulligan here.
This one feels weird. Yeah,
Whoops.
I don't know if that can be.
2 on brand. All right, then we have scrapped. We have officially called a mulligan, and our mulligan situation is right in this tiny paper that I'm having trouble opening. Who is more likely to survive going into a wormhole with only a spacesuit? I think this is from
Interstellar.
Interstellar,
right?
yeah. Santa. No,
Really?
Jon Stewart.
I mean, he
think
travels through space. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a space core.
He doesn't even have to wear a spacesuit.
No, he's got a ring.
Just wears a green aura.
Yeah, Sandro does pull off some really crazy travel stuff, visiting every single boy and girl in one night.
Maybe through wormholes.
But maybe he does use wormholes. Maybe that's how he pulls it off.
Well, I mean, guys, we're going by Santa Claus rules. There's no wormholes in Santa Claus.
that we know
It's
of.
magic.
Magic
Plus,
is
Santa
only
Claus
what's...
ain't going to other planets. He ain't leaving Earth.
Are you telling me that there's not other planets with other humans on there?
No. Well,
They
he-
killed all the Christians.
I was about
No,
to say,
God only cares about this planet.
I was about to say, he's not like Jesus. He doesn't travel to other planets. Santa just hangs out on Earth. Yeah, this has to go
I
to
mean, this
Green
is Jon
Lantern, man.
Stewart,
He's
yeah.
he's a space traveling superhero.
Yeah, that makes sense to me,
I
man.
thought we had it.
Santa might not even be able to get that gut through that wormhole.
No, but it would open up like the chimneys in Santa Claus
Ah, yeah, there it is.
and it slides on through.
Man, we thought we had him.
Well, now.
I'm telling you guys, Green Lantern's here to stay, which is sad.
It's kind of sad, yeah, because he's not even as cool as like Batman. Or
I'm gonna
anything.
throw Batman back into the jar.
Just make him quit the podcast.
It'd just drive me insane.
Be like, well, actually, Batman has a contingency to defeat every superhero.
Stupid. What a stupid character.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yes.
Jon Stewart.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Makes
Green
it through
Lantern
wormholes.
beats Santa Claus.
We finally settled the debate that kids have been arguing about in playgrounds for millennia.
Oh my god. What a ridiculous episode this has turned into. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the Bong Joon-ho's.
Yeah.
We did, honestly, one of my favorite directors now. Killer.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
I'm super glad. Like these were all first watches for me, and they're all movies that I will cherish forever.
Definitely. A lot of them were first watches for me. I will still love them forever. Speaking of watches, this might be your first watch on YouTube, but be sure to like, share, and subscribe Uninformed Movie Reviews. You can also follow us at Instagram at Uninformed Movie Reviews. Facebook, we also got it too. Hit us up on Spotify. Hit follow so that you can get the episode already downloaded to your phone when it comes out.
Beautiful, Danny. Well said, man.
Yeah, make sure you do that so that one day you don't understand why your phone's running so slow, and you're like, "What? I have so much. Like, what's taking up all this memory? Oh, it's years worth of downloaded podcasts that I haven't been maintaining."
Particularly Uninformed
And
Movie
then-
Reviews.
And then you listen to them. You listen to them all.
Yes.
So ending May, we got CLE coming out, Studio 666.
That feels like so long.
Jeez. This is a bit of a chore, guys. Just watch the review. Don't watch the movie.
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Just watch the review.
Yeah. June, we're
Hope.
kicking it off with not Bong Joon-ho, but Ozark season 4.
Yo.
I think I'm going to cross the finish line. I think I'm going to make it in time, guys.
Yeah,
I have
you'll
faith
make
in you.
Yeah.
612, we got Jurassic World Dominion CLE.
It's going to be so bad.
On here, we have a ranking of the Jurassic Park movies. I'm actively fighting against this, everybody, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have to watch these stupid movies. And then,
Hey, it's
lastly,
only 2 stupid movies.
no, it's not.
3 maybe.
4.
No, 3.
Jurassic Park 3 through everything else.
Yeah. 3 is really where
Yeah, 3.
the dip
3,
happens.
4, 5, and then the new one.
No, 3,
There's going to
4.
be 6 of them now, isn't there?
So it's Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World 5. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to watch these. And then we're ending the month with a CLE on Elvis.
Huh.
Weird.
Who's playing him again?
Some guy.
Yeah, right.
No, I don't know what his name is.
Know who it
You know
is.
what, guys?
But I am excited to watch like Tom Hanks be a little bit sleazy. It's
Oh,
gonna be
he's
fun.
in that. That's
Yeah,
right.
that will be fun.
We're gonna get some that thing you do vibes.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sticking with us, everybody. Tell us in the comments below what you want us to do a podcast on, other than this Jurassic Park one. Hurry up, everyone, save me. And we'll catch you next time.